My knees are sweating.
Well, in the meantime, I'm going to tell you about my coworker's son and what he said to me when I was over at our house the other day.
Is this an announcement or just a story?
Just a story. So this kid is 8 years old, and he's hilarious. But we were just sitting on the couch, and then all of a sudden he just turns to me and he was like, you know, America is doomed. And I was like, okay.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with him.
Yes, but why do you think so? And he goes, because there's a lot of flat earthers out there. I was like, yes,
Yeah,
but again,
you're not wrong.
Where are we going with this? And he was like, and I just don't understand, because I can read like half of a page of a scientific article and realize that the earth is round. The earth is round. Science says that the earth is round. And I just don't understand why flat earthers are out there and they're ruining America. He was like, there's so many idiots.
I mean, yeah, I'm not going to.
I was like, kid, you are 8. And I like told his mom, and she was like, well, he is my child. I was like,
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, so I got told about how being a flat earther is the dumbest thing on the planet by an 8-year-old, so.
I mean, he's not wrong.
I mean, yes.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Half of these things I was supposed to download are only text documents, so I don't know if this is even going to work.
Oh, wait a minute. This is bullshit. What are you doing, Shannon?
I'm downloading mods for SimCity 4.
Oh, okay. I'm taking a screenshot of my thesis signature page so I can turn my fucking thesis in.
Yeah, I've had this game
I'm
for
eating
a while,
pasta, so.
and I never really played it. But, you know, it's from 2003, and then they really haven't updated it since 2003, so there's a shit ton of mods.
I only asked because we were all screaming about something, and
Yeah, we were all screaming about different things.
Not that your thing wasn't important. Just
No, but I was just getting frustrated because I didn't realize I had to download all these extra things because it was a lot. Actually, I don't know what am I opening? Oh god,
Okay.
What is happening?
Are we ready to start?
Why does this have a separate installer? Yes, hang on.
Okay.
No, just go. You're fine. Just talk.
Okay. What's the name of our podcast? Hannah's Computer Troubles. Hi, welcome to the Triad, where we're spooky and angry and sensitive, and
Yes,
angry and sensitive.
Yes.
I'm Hannah.
Who?
I'm
Sorry.
Shannon.
I'm Shelby.
We forgot about that part.
1 year,
about to
guys.
ask,
We've
who
been doing
are
this
you?
for a year.
Is this our year?
Almost. It'll be July
Oh.
1st. We're pretty dang close.
That's a long
Okay,
time
what were you
ago.
going to say about donating? What were you going to say?
Oh, yeah, everyone should give money to a reputable organization that is helping India, because India is in
Yes.
trouble right now with the
Yes,
COVID
they
situation.
Yes,
I
they are.
forget who I donated to, but it was an Indian organization, specifically. Shit, why didn't I write that down? I don't remember. It was a couple weeks ago. I saw it on TikTok, but
Yeah.
it's a reputable place. I looked it up.
Okay.
But yeah, just because it's bad. It's real. The situation there is real bad.
It's so bad. Yeah.
It's horrible. It's like unspeakable.
Yeah. Excuse me. See, now I feel like we should say something about Palestine.
Okay, and also, you know what? Fuck the Israeli government. I'm really upset
Yes.
about this.
Yeah.
They are committing genocide, and I
Yes, they
understand
are.
that, like, this has been a hot button issue since always, and
Yeah.
just because you say that you don't support the Israeli government doesn't mean that you're anti-Semitic, and I think that a
Nope.
lot of people kind of conflate the two, so I'm just
Yep.
bringing that up.
Yep.
And also, we should support Palestine because, you know, like, they were there first. I don't know. Anyway, that's just my opinion.
Even-
Thank you, goodbye.
Not even with they were there first, because white people were not in our country first, not justifying anything.
Oh, yeah, no.
But
I think we're we shouldn't be.
They're the
either.
victims of a genocide attempt at the moment. So like,
yes,
just I think we can.
When your
Computer.
government is bombing what? Bombing news agencies instead of like I don't know. It's all bad.
And
it's all very bad.
It's just not. It's just bad. Yeah.
So anyway, give some money to India and
maybe donate to a pro-Palestinian organization of some kind. Go to a protest. I don't know.
Yeah, go to a protest. I feel like that's probably the one thing that you can do. Just show your support for the people, because like there's really nothing you can do.
Yeah, except put pressure on our own government to
yeah, everyone call fucking Joe Biden out on his bullshit
on things.
That he's doing right now.
So yeah. So yeah. That's all I got.
So we had a big long conversation about how we weren't going to talk about Palestine.
I know. I'm sorry. Just after that, okay. I was like, maybe we should talk about it.
It's all good. It's all good. All right, let's talk about something else terrible. Please open your PowerPoints to page whatever.
Okay, I'm not even in the folder. Sorry, I'm still
page
downloading
episode
mods.
40, whatever. What are we on? What episode?
Is it in the episodes folder? Is
no,
it
it's in Hannah's.
Research?
Okay, hang on. I'm almost there.
And it sounds really dirty, and when I looked it up on Reddit, some bad things came up, but it's actually an interesting story.
Yeah, that does sound really inappropriate.
Yeah, and a lot of bad things popped up with it as well. However,
jeez, I wonder why.
Yeah.
So today, we're going to talk about the Love Canal.
Okay.
Sounds dirty. Oh, you know what? It is fucking dirty. We'll talk about it in a minute.
Okay.
Wow, it all just... Man, I wish in writing this I had had any sort of brain cell to use, but they're all gone. All right, so my sources are Wikipedia, a podcast called Luminol, which was really funny. I really liked those gals on that show. It was good. A podcast called Swindled, which made me feel like, for some reason, it made me feel guilty. I don't know. Like the Catholic guilt got kicked up in that one.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like, I really don't know, because it was just telling me a story. I guess it was just that guy's voice. Mm-hmm. Buffalo News from Buffalo, New York, and Timeline.com.
All right.
So, let's talk about the Love Canal.
All right.
If you go to slide 3, this is a picture of Model City. Ooh. I just ate a pizza with... The amount of cheese on this pizza is probably a war crime, but it was really good. So... Anyway, so Love Canal it first was called Model City, and it was originally a planned city created by William T. Love in 1834. So a model city is basically like, it was supposed to be like a utopian kind of a thing. There's a lot of examples of model cities, like Brasilia in Brazil is one. There's a lot all over the place. But basically, it's just supposed to be like there for a purpose. So actually Chernobyl was one. Chernobyl's technically a model city, a planned city, because it was planned to be the home of the people who worked at the power plant. It's the same thing. So there was it's
like a town that is built for a purpose.
For a purpose,
as
yeah. And the people who live there
just
support
like
the
naturally, a town that like naturally appears or whatever. It's
it's
specifically
a very
built.
utilitarian concept.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so as you can see on this picture, it's right on Lake Ontario. Touches Canada. It's all up in Canada's business, and right underneath it is Niagara Falls.
Nice.
So the canal is that dark line that says canal. It says power canal.
All right.
So this was the concept. It was supposed to be used to divert water from couldn't tell you what river that is, from Lake Ontario. Whatever one feeds into Niagara Falls, I don't know.
The Niagara River, I would assume.
Is that true?
It literally says Niagara River down at the bottom of the map, dude.
Mine's not up there because you're
on your
really
notes.
zoomed
Okay.
out to look at my notes.
Gotcha.
Please. So the canal was going to be used for like trade purposes and also to divert water to be used in like electrical generation purposes. But then AC current was invented, and they were like, well, never mind. So
Yeah.
they scrapped that idea. So only about
Kinda ruined the
3,200
plan.
feet were actually excavated? Wow. Excavated for this project. So just a couple
Okay.
thousand feet, like not a whole lot.
Okay.
So the canal was dug, but no water was added to it. Next slide.
You didn't? Did you read off your sources?
Yes.
She did.
You did? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm still downloading mods.
Oh, Shannon.
Clearly not paying attention to me. So
I am.
This this PowerPoint is going to be set, or this PowerPoint, this presentation I'm giving you is going to be a little bit weird because I'm going to start in like bullet points of years, and then I'm going to talk about specific things, and then I'm going to go back and just go back to a timeline. So
Okay.
it's a little all over the place, but it made sense in my head.
Works for me.
All right, so in the 1920s and 30s, the Love Canal basically filled up with water. And it was kind of just like everyone swam there and did whatever. But then in the 1920s and 30s, it was used as a dump site for just like municipal and industrial waste.
Okay.
And it was all, at this point, it was just like, it was harmless shit. It was just, I don't know, like scrap metal and stuff. It wasn't anything toxic.
Wasn't like chemicals and
No, it wasn't chemicals. It was just
you know,
like
radiation and things.
So Model City and the Love Canal area are suburbs of Niagara Falls, and so the city of Niagara Falls just took all of their, basically it was the town dump. They just took all their shit out there and threw it in the canal, which wasn't a canal, just the big hole in the ground. It's like the pit in Parks and Rec. That's kind of what this is.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, they just kind of threw all their trash in there. That was in the 20s and the 30s. And then in 1942 and from 1942 to 53, a, quote, organic chemical revolution in herbicides and pesticides started to happen. And
now we get all the toxic stuff.
Yeah, so now the chemicals that we're throwing in there are the byproducts of these horrific toxins. And so some of them started to be thrown in there, and we'll talk about that again in a minute. So it's mostly byproducts of the chemicals that are being manufactured. So mostly they were just sealed in metal drums and tossed in the Love Canal. We'll talk about that in a minute. In the 1950s, housing development began in the area adjacent to the canal, and that's what you can see in this picture. These are all houses, except for... Actually, it might not have been built in this picture yet. Okay, yeah, the houses. People live here. So, like I said, it was all relatively harmless until the Hooker Chemical Company started dumping their chemical byproducts.
They really, really wanted this to sound dirty.
Yeah.
Yes, the Love Canal, the Hooker is throwing everything in there. I was writing these notes outside while my dog was running around and trying to eat a dead rat that was in my yard. Oh no, what did I do?
Oh boy.
Uh-oh. Nothing, I guess. That was really... I think I refreshed the page. Anyway, my dog was trying to eat a dead rat, but I was doing these notes outside, and I didn't have any internet, so I was just, like, typing in what I wanted pictures of, and I put on the next slide, which you can go to the next slide, I said, picture of Hooker. But what I meant was the chemical company. Anyway, so let's look at this. This, the fifth one is the Hooker Chemical Company. So in 1942, they were looking for a place to dump all of their waste. And the Niagara Power and Development Company, which owned the Love Canal, because remember it was supposed to be like a power plant or part like leading to a power plant.
Okay. Yeah.
They were like, yeah, you can throw some of your shit in here. We're throwing our shit in here. So Hooker was like, perfect. Love it. I'm all about this. And like I said, this had been a public like swimming hole forever, and now there's like chemical waste in it. So the Hooker Chemical Company bought the canal and the 70 feet of banks on either side of the canal. Oh, I just punched my microphone. Sorry about that. And then they drained it and lined it with thick clay. And then they were like, all right, let's get all our shit together. They started adding 55-gallon barrel drums, and some of them said they were made of fiber, some of them said they were made of metal. I guess it just depended on what was in it, because some of this stuff was liquid, some of it was solid. I don't know. I don't know how that works. I don't know how polluting the environment works. So they turned this canal into basically a 16-acre chemical dump.
That sounds healthy.
Yeah, right? We'll talk about just how healthy it can be.
Sure.
So then in 1948, Niagara Falls ended their dumping in the area. The city of Niagara Falls, not the waterfall.
Not the waterfall.
Continued to dump water. However, the city said, we're done with that. And there was this big, and Shannon, you would probably be interested in it. I don't know if you're interested in real estate law or whatever, but there was like a big thing about passing the buck to Hooker and saying like, hey, you can have this hole in the ground that we are just putting toxins in. Mm-hmm. So during its 10-year lifespan, the landfill served as the dumping site for 21,800 short tons. So that's 19,800 metric tons of chemicals. A short ton is measured in like how much. Oh, I'm going to say this wrong. I think it's like the volume as opposed to. Oh, no, wait. That's what metric tons is. I don't know. It's something to do with weight, and it's hard for me to do math. So, anyway, lot of ton of bad thing.
Yeah. Exactly that. Right there.
Right. So all of these, hold on, I'm gonna fix my microphone. A lot of these chemicals, they had like caustics, alkalides, fatty acids, chlorinated hydrocarbons, all of these bad things that were so what the Hooker Company made are, they made dyes, perfumes, and then solvents for rubbers and synthetic resins. So the byproducts of all of these manufacturing manufacturing these products is what they were burying. So just like all the garbage that is left over. So they were buried about 20 to 25 feet deep, and once the area was completely filled up, they covered it with another layer of clay and then just left it. And they were like, the clay will stop the seepage. Anyway, so over
Seems
time,
questionable to me, but okay.
Yeah, so over time, vegetation started to grow over it, so it basically just became like a big empty field. And remember that during this time, there were housing projects being built all around this. So guess who bought the land after it kind of had been sitting there for 10 years?
The government.
Nope, the school board.
Oh.
Okay, seems right.
Oh, this is going to be a really short episode, guys. Please talk. So 1953, even though I don't know, there was like a big kerfuffle about the property, and mostly because there were so many issues with it being like underneath it. There was no foundation because it was all like barrels and also toxic chemicals. And so eventually the Hooker Chemical and Plastic Corporation deeds the Love Canal to Niagara Falls Board of Education for $1.
Yeah, that happens.
Oh my god.
I mean,
it stresses me out.
Get it, but also you're going to put children on top of unstable land filled with toxic chemicals.
Here's a quote from someone who made the transaction. Quote, "The more we thought about it, the more interested Wilcox and I became in the proposition, and finally came to the conclusion that the Love Canal property is rapidly becoming a liability because of the housing projects in the near vicinity of our property. A school, however, could be built in the center of the unfilled section, in parentheses, with chemicals underground. We became convinced that it would be a wise move to turn this property over to the schools, provided we could not be held responsible for future claims of damages resulting from underground storage of chemicals."
Oh, so we know it's terrible. We're just going to put children on top of it and then say, Well, you knew what you were getting into, so you can't be mad at us about it.
We gave it to you for $1. What'd you expect?
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. I see.
So anyway,
love it.
1954, construction on the 99th Street School began. And everyone knew it was a bad idea. Like, everyone was on to the fact that why are we doing this? Anyway, keep digging. So while digging...
We love just the decisions that people make.
I know. We're so smart as a species. So altruistic and...
How are we top of the food chain?
I don't think we are.
Sometimes I really wonder how we are the ones that have managed to survive.
Honestly, I had a complete mental breakdown yesterday because I found a tick on my leg.
I mean, fair.
Like, if I were on my own in the wild, bye.
Nope. I'd be like, well, I have limes now. Time to be done.
I know, I'm so worried about it. But it was really big, so I don't think it's a problem tick.
Yeah.
It's the little ones that kill you, right?
I think so.
Okay. So, while digging, workers uncovered one area that was just toxic barrels. And they were like, fuck it.
Cool.
So they moved the dig site 80 feet north. And they were like, perfect. It's fine.
Cool.
Great.
It's all great. It's all cool. The same thing happened when they were building the kindergarten playground. They're like, just move it over a couple of feet.
Because that makes it not toxic.
I know!
This is why we have regulations for things now. Because we didn't in the 50s.
This
is
started
why.
a lot of them.
Yeah, this is why.
We maybe should have had a
Do you guys
few.
know what this super fund site is?
What?
Have you heard of a super fund site?
Oh.
Yeah, we talked about it in
Yeah.
environmental law.
This is the first one.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't hear
Yeah.
the D on fund, and
super fund.
I was like,
Super
what's a
fund.
super fun site?
So Superfund
Disney.
sites are
Right, Disney.
so they're polluted areas that require like a long. I just googled it just so that I can get a better explanation because we haven't talked about them since last semester. So they're really polluted areas that need like a long-term response to clean up hazardous materials, and it's under CERCLA, which is the Comprehensive Environmental Response Compensation and Liability Act. So basically, there's this bank account, essentially, that pays for cleanup of like really polluted areas, and it's called the Superfund, and this is one of those areas.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the first one where they were like,
It's one of those things that,
take
like,
care of that.
I know I've like read it in articles and stuff, and I was just like, oh, that's a thing I should probably know about, and then never looked
Nah.
it up.
It's an
Now
environmental
you're
law
learning.
thing. Like, it's
Yeah.
fine.
Well, I've
It's
driven
fine.
past this place before, which is why, like, because like all my family's from New York, and I've been to Niagara a couple of times, Niagara Falls, and I've seen signs for it, or like signs that people have in their yard that are like, it's still a super fun site, why is no one blah blah blah, whatever, we'll get to it.
Gotcha.
Okay, so the school, the 90, what did I say it was called? Because there's two of them that are just
The 99?
numbers. Yes.
Maybe?
Wait, that's not right.
What?
Oh, wait, yes it is, sorry. I got them mixed up. Yes, the 99th Street School was opened in 1955, and 400 children attended the school. That same year, a 25-foot area collapsed, just in the ground, exposing toxic chemical drums. And then it
Great.
filled with rainwater.
Oh,
and
no.
then the children played in the rainwater.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
See, and we thought that like our minds collapsing was bad.
Mm-hmm.
At least we don't have toxic rainwater. Pools.
Well, that probably leached into the groundwater, too.
Well, yeah.
Oh, Shannon.
Yeah.
You're so good at predicting.
Well, I'm still...
Because ours, it's just like your house might fall into a mine, but
Yeah.
it's not like, oh, your kid's gonna grow a third head.
Yeah.
Pretty much. My dog
Yeah.
is barking. Bark, bark. So then in 1955, also in 1955, because this is also the same year, the 93rd Street School was opened 6 blocks away.
Okay.
So, next slide. Here is a direct quote from Wikipedia that just tickled me.
Oh, gosh.
Quote, residents were suspicious of black fluid that flowed out of the Love Canal.
Oh, God.
You see her pouring that shit? That was the water.
Oh, I'm on the wrong slide. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, my God. I'm just laughing because it sounds so funny, but then you, like, think about it and you're like, that is toxic sludge. Oh,
I'm laughing
lovely.
because I'm so uncomfortable.
Yes.
And,
also,
like, just in shock.
I would have straight up moved before I sent my child to that school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But also, I know it's the 50s and financial
I know.
things
It
are a
sucks
thing.
because this part of New York is really blue collar, and this city or this neighborhood in particular was like hella blue collar, like kind of poor. Wow,
Yeah.
I'm just realizing that I didn't spell any of these words right. Let's see, I spelled melted wrong. Mixed specifically has a comma in the middle of it and a V. Mind has an O in it, and of has an R in it. Okay,
Hannah
anyway.
sent us a picture of her slides when she first started them, and all she was doing was typing the word sources, and she misspelled it. She put a 0 in.
Yeah.
There were
And
at
she was
least
like-
2 O's.
Yeah, there was like 2 O's and a 0, and like, she was like, so we're doing great.
It's a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so anyway, quote, residents were suspicious of the black fluid that flowed out of the Love Canal. Okay.
I mean,
so,
I'd be a little suspicious as well.
it's literally black sludge. It was also described as a yellow, orange, magenta thing, like all at
Oh.
once. Like,
Okay. So, oil.
no,
So
because
it's
it
like
wasn't
the
black. It was
iridescent-
just like yellow and
No, but like, you
magenta.
know when like oil is on top of water and it gets
Yeah.
that like iridescent
this
kind
was
of
like
glow?
like a substance, like a foamy thing coming out of someone's
Oh.
pool.
Cool. Okay.
All right, anyway.
Never mind.
So, since the chemical plant had dumped all that shit in the canal, residents noticed gross smells and substances in their yards, playgrounds, and basements. In the winter, we're jumping ahead a lot, but I just think that this is very important. In the winter of 1977, there was a winter storm which dumped about, because this is New York, and it's on the lake there.
yes.
They got like 3.5 feet of snow in the neighborhood, and when it melted, the water table rose and it mixed with the toxins, specifically dioxin. Well, not specifically, but like most notably dioxin, which is not good for you.
No.
So that spring, the State Department started conducting intensive soil, air, and groundwater sampling analyses to get some
Wait,
kind of...
the spring of 77?
Yes.
Okay.
And they were like, this is bad. This is real bad. They
Oh,
went
wait,
to...
hold on. Just because, in case someone doesn't know, I looked up dioxin. And dioxins are a group of highly toxic chemical compounds that are harmful to health. They can cause problems with reproduction, development, and the immune system. They can also
Yes.
disrupt hormones and lead to cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk about a few of the chemicals in a minute.
Yeah, that is
it's
just the like most basic Wikipedia definition of what a dioxin is. But yes.
It's not so good to have.
No.
Yeah.
Literally melts your genetic materials.
It's fine.
Bad for you, I would say. So they also found the EPA... Oh, wait, no, it wasn't the EPA. It was the State Department of Health and Environmental Conversation. Wow. Conservation. You know, when you chat to birds and such. Just talk to some leaves. Anyway, so they tested the basements of 11 homes adjacent to the canal and found bad things in there too.
Great.
And it was also...
Wow, so surprised.
Yeah, so Shannon, this is what you were talking about a minute ago. It was also revealed that the standards at the time did not require the installation of a liner to prevent leaching.
Nope.
So, remember how I said they just like dug a hole and filled it with clay and they were like, good enough?
Yes.
there wasn't like a concrete lining or like some kind of metal,
And
non-corrosive
like
metal. Or
clay is just an organic matter.
it's
Like
porous. Shit
it's
gets
porous.
in it.
It's
It gets
basically
wet and melts.
literally the dirt in Georgia is not dirt, it is clay, and plants grow. So like of course this stuff is gonna leach through it.
I feel like I should bring up we didn't have an EPA until 1970.
I understand that.
No,
but
I'm not
I
defending anything. I'm just
human
explaining.
Stupidity
Yeah.
enrages me.
Yeah, I'm not explaining, I'm not excusing, just explaining.
No, you're totally fine. I get
Nixon
it.
actually signed it into law on January 1st, 1970. Which is interesting. Well, because like back in the day, environmentalism wasn't a blue issue, it was an everyone issue, and then it became a blue issue over the years for various reasons.
Yes.
So, but yeah, we didn't have an EPA until 1970, and like we had like laws before that, but they weren't good ones, and they weren't worried
It's
about
like those
like
dumb boat laws that were like,
yeah, we had
hey.
like boat laws, and then we had like some conservation stuff with like the Forest Service under Teddy Roosevelt, but it wasn't.
like don't cut down this forest because I like to hunt that one specific bear.
Yeah, and so like we had, and like we kind of had a Clean Air Act, and we had laws. They just weren't as stringent as EPA regulations became. So yeah,
My cat is trying to sit on my microphone.
Cute.
Okay,
All right,
I think
anyway,
she's
it's,
done.
garbage,
No, I
garbage
think
Mary.
sorry. I think the part of it that bothers me so much is the fact that like everyone got sick when people were throwing their trash and their like excrement into rivers and stuff, and we figured that out pretty quickly. So like by the 1950s, 1970s, I'm just kind of like, so we don't realize that throwing things into like land and water sources can make us sick. Like at what point?
Yeah, but this was like right after World War II,
this?
and we're like, we are invincible. We killed Hitler.
Yeah.
Like that was that was pretty much the entire mentality of the United States. Unbeatable.
I mean, you're true. You're
and
right.
like it seems so obvious to us now.
Yeah.
But it wasn't at the time. So, yeah.
Here's a quote.
I don't know.
You want to hear a quote that will
yes.
make you feel yucky?
Sure.
So, homeowners noticed black smelly liquid at the bottom of holes they dug for fence posts. Children played in tracts of land with, quote, fire rocks, a white substance that sparked when thrown against another object.
Oh, no!
Cool.
Oh, no.
Okay, but also, if I was a kid and I had a rock that, like, blew up when it
oh my God,
hit
wouldn't that
something
be so cool?
else, I would play with that nonstop. Like, you
You'd
could
be
not
X-Men
get me.
all day. That's all I would do.
Literally.
Anyway, to continue, to the shock of their coach, Little Leaguers discovered miniature volcanoes in the outfield where gray fumes spewed, stinking of an acrid chemical called, oh God, I can't say this, thionyl chloride.
Cool.
Thionyl chloride.
At what point are you like, oh, there's like miniature volcanoes in our baseball field. Maybe we shouldn't play here.
Okay, so let's talk about some of these chemicals really quick. You guys can go to the next slide.
Okay.
So I'm just going to tell you the ones that were in the ground. There were also things in the air, but that was like way too long and there were too many things. And I'm also going to tell you a couple of like a couple ones. I just did the first two and then I think the last one. Whatever, it doesn't matter. All right, so the first one were acid chlorides and other benzol. So there were 360 metric tons of this.
Oh my
low
God.
molecular weight of these acid chlorides are often react violently with water, alcohols, and let's just say water and alcohols because I can't say that other word. But water is all you have to know. It rains and it rains.
Yeah.
The other one, the one that was shooting out of the ground, at the baseball field, there were 450 metric tons of that, and it is a reactive compound that violently releases dangerous gases upon contact with water and other reagents.
Great.
It is also controlled under the Chemical Weapons Convention and listed as a Schedule III substance, and it produces a nerve agent.
Oh
and
my
that was
God.
what was in the baseball field.
Oh my god.
Cool.
That is what was spitting out of the ground.
Yeah.
There were other chlorination things. That I didn't write anything fun down about that one. This one called chlorides and other miscellaneous organic sulfur compounds. There were 2,200 metric tons of this, and it is classified as an extremely hazardous substance in the United States and defined in Section 302 of the U.S. Emergency Planning and Community Right to Know Act, and then blah, 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 some numbers, and is subject to strict reporting requirements by facilities which produce, store, and use it in significant quantities. There were 2,200 metric tons of this
Oh my god.
under the school.
I'm really surprised we didn't talk about this during environmental law. Like,
Right?
Yeah.
so bad.
How did this not come up?
To be fair, I did not attend environmental law this semester that we were talking about this. So maybe we did. I don't know.
Shannon's like, I didn't go to class.
I literally did not
just
go to class
took
that
the
semester.
class.
Yeah, I didn't go to class that semester. So maybe we did. I don't know. I know what a superfund is, though. So
Well, this is like...
clearly I retained the
Super
important
fun.
information.
All right. There are a bunch of other things too. Like benzyl chlorides, metal chlorides, liquid disulfides. This one looks like it's 14 syllables. I'm not going to read it. Just like a lot of bad things. So, like I said, there were 19,800 metric tons of this shit,
Oh
and
my
that was just
God.
what was in the ground.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not reading what was in the air because
Yeah.
it was a lot. There were
Yeah.
so many things.
Oh
But
my
anyway, basically they built the school over there were two, let's see. That one explodes at minimum because like I said, I didn't look up all these chemicals because I didn't have time because there were so many of them.
They're chemicals.
But one is a nerve agent and the other one is an explosive. So that's a good thing to have under an elementary school.
in your groundwater.
Oh, and in your groundwater and on your baseball field and
Yeah.
in your
jumping in those puddles
basement.
at school.
Yeah.
Oozing through your basement, coming in through your sump pump. Like,
Great.
good times in Love Canal. The dirty, dirty Love Canal.
Oh man.
Okay, let's keep going.
Okay.
So the citizens were like catching on because their children would go to school and their eyes, whenever they went on the playground, their eyes would sting and they would have shortness of breath, and lots of kids started developing things that they hadn't had before, like seizures and asthma. Soon there were birth defects in babies being born to people who had lived there for a significant amount of time. We're going to talk about one woman in particular, Lois Gibbs. She was, in 1976, she was a 27-year-old housewife and had a son who was enrolled at the school, and he was one of the kids who started having seizures out of nowhere. And she was like, yeah, my kid has never been sick in his life, and now you're, like, telling me that it's okay, that he's like this? Like, no, not actually, no. So... there was one child that was born with an extra row of teeth. I
don't like that.
I
Sorry.
feel so bad for her. That poor baby had so many, it was like over a dozen birth defects. She was deaf, she had an extra row of teeth, she had a cleft palate, she had developmental delays. It was so bad. But
Have I ever told you that my uncle had an extra tooth that grew in the middle of his hard palate?
that freaks
maybe?
me out.
Yeah, so it was like in the middle of the roof of his mouth. He just had a tooth that grew there.
Great.
I think he had it like surgically removed. It's not uncommon, honestly.
Yeah.
Was it his twin? That's what I always think of.
It could be.
There's someone
but
on
no,
TikTok. There's someone on TikTok who has there's someone on TikTok who has a tooth growing in their ear canal.
yeah,
What?
Yeah.
yeah, like
I'm gonna
it's
vomit.
because it's just like bone calcification
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But
Not,
yeah, like
not because of that person's looks, but because of the idea of me having a tooth in my head.
Yeah.
That shouldn't
That's
be
not
there. Really
supposed to be
freaks me
there.
out.
Yeah, me too. That's why I gagged when you said there's extra teeth.
yeah, like there's something about like extra teeth that like freaks me out. But yeah, it's not entirely uncommon to have them like grow other places just
Yeah.
because of the way that like your palate and everything forms as a baby and as like a fetus and whatnot, and like your palate isn't like fully what's the word, it hasn't like your hard
Developed?
palate yeah,
Sorry.
fully developed, and it hasn't, because it's like two parts, and that's how you end up with a cleft, is that it doesn't like fuse together correctly. But the way that it fuses, it doesn't fuse completely until after you're born, and so that can cause like either like teeth in the wrong place or like sinuses to be messed up and things like that.
Maybe that's why my
like a
sinuses are
cleft-
fucked up.
I mean, it's possible.
Cleft palate is a pretty common birth defect.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's as like little as I don't know, they call it a hair lip, where you just have
Yeah.
like that line. But sometimes
Yeah.
it's like, your whole palate's kind of fucked up. But
I was gonna say, because the cleft palate itself isn't that uncommon. It's the cleft lip that
Yeah.
most people associate with like a cleft palate, and that is a bit more not.
it's like more noticeable
Yeah, I
as
wouldn't
opposed to
say
like an
it's
internal sort of a thing.
yeah, but like it's not weird to have like a small hole in your palate, and usually there's either like workarounds for it or they'll just do the surgery to like fuse it. But anyway, that's way off topic. Sorry.
No, I have another thing that's kind of off topic with palates. So the reason I said maybe that's why my sinuses are fucked up was because my upper palate, it's the only one I have. Sorry, I'm really tired. It was too small for all of my teeth.
Yeah.
Remember, I had to have a fucking expander. That was
Oh
fun.
yeah, my sister had to have the expander, and it yeah, her
Did you
sinuses
guys
are
know I
messed
had
up
to have 3 of them?
Yes.
too. What?
One didn't fit. One fucking fell out of my mouth one day, and then I had the last one, and my mom dropped the key down my throat because, of course.
Yeah.
You know, they're
God.
like, yeah, always keep some fucking
That was
tooth
awful.
floss, dental floss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, barf.
Anyway, sorry I got us onto that. I'm just really passionate about the mouth
really
and
quick,
the ear.
for people who
No, I
don't
want to
know
explain
about,
what an expander is.
yeah, for people who don't know what an expander is, it's like a piece of metal they put in your mouth, and you turn a key every night, and then one day you hear a fucking crack in your head, and your teeth, there's a
God.
gap between your front 2
Yeah.
teeth.
It's
Basically, it goes up into the roof of your mouth, and it is, when you turn the
It's
key,
a medieval torture device.
seriously.
it pushes outwards on your teeth, so it basically forces
your
your
molars.
palate open. So it is expanding the amount of like space for your teeth, because
Yeah.
basically it's like if your mouth is too small for the amount of teeth that you have, because not everyone technically should have the same amount of teeth, because not everyone's mouth is built for the same amount of teeth.
No, I have such a tiny mouth, and that's why my teeth didn't stay in place after my orthodontics, because there's just too many teeth in there. And now
Yeah.
they all push on each other, and my mouth hurts all the time.
Yep, same.
Um,
Anyway,
but yeah, it's a medieval
this poor
torture
child.
device.
Not to take it away from this poor child who had like all of these
Yeah,
mutations and defects, like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, it's horrible.
So anyway, lots of love canalers, as they're called, started to notice other things, like their children would come inside after playing outside with burn marks on their hands, probably from their fucking fire rocks, but whatever.
I would
Dogs.
straight up be like, I'm an earthbender and a firebender.
I'm a meteorite
Look at my
bender.
fire rocks. I am the
Yeah,
god
honestly.
of all. Yep.
Which X-Men can do that? I'm trying to think. I don't know. Anyway,
I don't
dogs would lose
remember.
patches of their hair. Everybody was having headaches and nosebleeds, and there was a really high incidence of miscarriages. So this woman, the one with her hand, the one in the the big one.
The one in the foreground.
Yes, that's the word. The one in the foreground, the big woman.
Okay.
What I meant was she looks, by perspective, larger than the rest of the people. That is, that is Lois Gibbs.
Okay.
If you go to the next slide, here are some more children picketing because they. Oh, okay, wait. So, here's how Lois Gibbs got everything started. Got everything into motion. So no one was really paying attention to him. They're like, yeah, you guys just like move out, be quiet about it, who cares. The way she got people really invested in this cause was she was part of the homeowners association. Oh my god, sorry, I just threw up some of my worker and pizza. Can you guys hear me?
Are you alive? Yes.
Oh, okay, it just got really quiet. Yeah. So anyway, Lois Gibbs got a collection of other women, young children, and pregnant women, and they just started marching. They were like, you're going to take us seriously because our children, our families are suffering, and we need to be heard. And so she was like super badass, and I love her, but she just kind of like made this happen. So there were lots of pickets and marches and protests that had children and pregnant women as like the center of it because they were the ones who were the most affected by this.
Yeah.
So that's what those pictures are just the children picketing. Let me see if I can read some of the signs. That one, his is upside down, but you know, whatever. Good for him. He's there. He's out. He's trying.
Yeah.
I want a swimming pool in my backyard, not a cesspool. Thanks, hooker. All children. Oh, yeah, okay. Anyway. All right. That was just what one said. Okay, so the next picture, this little girl could be my mother. That's like what she looked like as a
Honestly,
baby.
yeah.
That is tiny Paula Farley. Or Paula Frank, I guess. Not to dox my mom, but... So in June of 1978, the state began to collect blood samples. They went door to door and collected over 2,000 blood samples from 97 homes bordering the canal. And they were like, wow, you guys are all sorts of fucked up, aren't you? So the study noted 80 distinct industrial chemicals were present near the dump site, including, this is not from the blood, this is from like ground testing, including 11 carcinogens like dioxin, chloroform, benzene, and PCBs. I don't know what that means. But the levels of dioxin were said to be, quote, among the highest ever found in the human environment. And Attorney General Robert Abrams said that.
Oh no.
So that's not so good. So then in 1978, in the summer, officials were like, okay, pregnant women and children under 2 have to leave. It's like, you need to evacuate now. So that's why some of the kids' signs that you see say, like, evacuate children of all ages. Because they didn't receive funding otherwise. It was just like, okay, well, you're 3, so I guess you're fine to live here.
Yeah.
With your 70s dad, who's not going to be of any help. No offense, 70s dads, you know what you did. So it was suggested that residents left, but they were working, to quote Lois Gibbs, she said, quote, we were a working class community. We didn't have money to just up and move and abandon our houses.
Yeah.
So like I said, it was a pretty blue collar place.
Yeah, a lot of the time nowadays, if they need to evacuate, they'll try to give some kind of financial assistance. From what I understand.
I was going to say, there's usually like some sort of like relief fund or something like that.
The super fund.
Yeah, like the super fund.
Yes.
But that wasn't a thing at the time, so.
No,
it's also kind of what they do like when people have to evacuate for natural disasters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so at this point, in 79, the EPA was finally like, hey, so there's a disturbingly high rate of miscarriages, and we're going to add this to a list of disasters that involves toxins. And, yeah, So it was added to the list. Blah, 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 blah.
Well,
Ranging
God
from
forbid
industrial
our
workers.
baby boomers not have babies.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. So ranging from industrial workers stricken by nervous disorders and cancers to the discovery of toxic materials in the milk of nursing mothers. In one case, 2 out of 4 children in every single Love Canal family had birth defects. One girl was born deaf with a cleft palate, an extra row of teeth, and slight retardation, and a boy was born with an eye defect. So, like, kids were just not well in this place.
Yeah.
All right. We can go to the next slide.
Well, I would imagine because there's got to be like some sort of farmland in this area as well. Or even if people just had like their little home garden or whatever.
Yeah, that's a pretty agrarian part of New York, like once you get outside the city. But like I said, this is a suburb of Niagara Falls City.
Yeah. But I just mean
so I
like
don't really
the
know.
water they're drinking, probably at least a portion of the food that they're eating is all
all of the fish had,
contaminated.
like, mercury in them.
So that at
they
least
were like,
explains
yeah,
why the
please don't-
moms had it in their breast milk and stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, it's in the air too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Air, it's
Oh,
in the
that's
water.
true, yeah.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. It's in your fucking basement. Okay, so on August 7th, 1978, Jimmy Carter declared a national state of emergency at the Love Canal. And then the New York governor at the time, who was Hugh L. Carey, which at first I got really excited because I read Governor Hugh because my uncle was a senator in New York, and I don't know why I thought he was a governor for a hot second, but I was like, Hugh Farley? But it was not him.
No.
Uncle Hugh? But it was not him, sadly, tragically. But I guess not, because that would have been really
Probably
bad in a stain
for
on
the
our
best.
family history. So whatever. We have other stains, I guess. Anyway, moving on. So he went to the Love Canal and temporarily diffuses the tension-filled confrontation by deciding to evacuate all 239 families living next to the canal on both sides of 97th and 99th Streets. So remember, it's like a big rectangle with a street in the middle, which is where the school is. And he was like, all right, everyone on this side and this side, we're leaving.
Yeah.
Which I guess that was good, but also many people were left behind because
Great.
it's a
Also,
big
like,
fucking town.
Yeah.
streets that are like parallel or adjacent. Like, it's not like the chemicals were just like, I think one street is far enough.
We're not
for
going
me
to go to
leach.
95th Street. Everyone stop at 95th Street. We're not going there today. Like, no.
Right,
That's not how
like-
chemicals work.
It's it's in
like
the
that
ground.
picture
like,
of Chernobyl where there's just like a big cutout part where they're
Yeah.
like, it's fine here. It's not. Oh, God. So, 11 out of 36 Love Canalers displayed chromosomal damage. So that's 33% compared to a normal rate of any other given population, which is only a 1% chromosomal damage rate.
Yeah.
Yeah. When 33% of your population has an issue that nobody else has, I
Yeah.
really think that that's a big problem. So government officials rushed to alert residents before they heard it from the media. Because again, remember, Lois Gibbs is like running around with her school children and pregnant women and saying like, hi, we're dying. And so the government's trying to get to the media before them. But it didn't really matter because the media was the one who first started conducting the... it was like 2 newspaper guys. I should have written that down. But who were the ones fucking around in basements and like looking for things coming out of sump pumps.
Yeah.
Creatures from the Black Lagoon crawling out of sump pumps. So like I said, there were all different kinds of activism. There were protests, rallies, things that were timed and planned to get maximum media attention. So did I put this in here? Okay, let's now go through a timeline of events starting in October of 1978.
how do you get May from October?
I mean, October. I wasn't reading. Sorry. So, this comes from the Buffalo the Buffalo News article that I read. I didn't know how to put... Whatever, I will just get to it. I'm so excited. Okay, this picture is so exciting and you guys don't even know why. Okay, so on October 16th, 1978, 100 Love Canal residents marched to City Hall after the state denied relocation pleas from 20 residents who were living beyond the hazard zone. So, like, people on the next street over were like, hey, we also want to get out of here, but we're poor. And the government was like, no. And they were like, fuck you. So they started marching. On December 12th of 78, 8 more picketers, including Mrs. Gibbs, were arrested, and then, like, their charges were dropped.
Has there been a movie made about this?
Maybe. Oh, yes. What's it called? It's like a fictionalized version of this, and it's the woman's name.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on, I will look it up.
I just looked it up. There's a movie called Lois Gibbs and the Love Canal.
No, that's not it.
Okay, hang on.
It's not about Lois Gibbs. It's about it's like a fake situation.
Gotcha.
But it's basically this.
Aaron Brockovich.
Yes.
Yep, that one. Okay.
Okay, so February 8th, 1979, the State Health Department starts to find that there are miscarriages, birth defects, and other, chromosomal defects way above average, or way above normal in some areas. And they recommend the relocation, and I've already talked about some of these things, but now we're coming back to the timeline. So again, they decide that they want to temporarily relocate all pregnant women and children under 2 who live in a 6-block area from 97th to 103rd Street, and then from Frontier Avenue to Collin Boulevard. So that's basically the big rectangle around the canal. Sorry. So February 15th of... Right now we're in 1979, and I will tell you when we change years. So, February 15th, the Love Canal Homeowners Association, which is basically led by Lois Gibbs at this point, a delegation of theirs takes a coffin to Governor Carey's office in Albany.
All right, I guess the point's across.
And they're like, fuck you, man!
Whatever you gotta do,
so
friends.
Iconic. That is so iconic.
Yes.
I love it. They're too poor to leave their houses, but they all pitch in and buy a coffin. Alright, so February 20th.
Look, coffins are expensive.
I mean, maybe they just built one. Probably.
Yeah, I mean, they probably just got, like, one of the wooden ones, which are the cheapest ones, but still.
Nice pine box. I don't know, whatever. So, let's see. So there was this doctor, oh my god, I didn't write down her first name. Fuck. Hold on. Anyway, her name was Dr. Pagan, and she relocated to, California because she was shut out of research grants because of her whistleblowing at the Love Canal. So, she was basically the person who started, I think she was the one who did all the blood tests.
Okay.
She just went around and was like, hey, we gotta, like, people are DED dead. This is bad. So she gets kicked out of all of these jobs. She doesn't get any grant money. She eventually ends up moving to California, and she's also, at this point, is disputing the February 8th findings from the state report. And I don't know if that means that she, like, disagreed with the State Department, because they were the ones who found the birth defects above normal. There wasn't really any information about that I could find.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I shouldn't have even brought that up. All right, March 21st, the state announces plans to remove and sell an additional 100 homes around the canal. And at the same time, Mrs. Gibbs goes to Washington is what this says, but,
Yeah.
Mr. Smith, whatever. Isn't that a movie? I don't know. Are we old? Are we too young for that? I don't know.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't know either, but today on TikTok, I saw a child, not really, she was a teenager or maybe her early 20s, say the 1-4 TBS spoon.
Oh, yeah.
Are you kidding me? Girl, not to call you out, but, like, how did you not know about measuring?
I guess she was never taught how to cook.
Well, you should know what a quarter is from fucking math.
That's true.
You learned that in 3rd grade.
True.
All right, I'm over it now. Okay, Mrs. Gibbs goes to Washington and testifies before the House of Representatives. The Dr. Pageant also says... she also testifies and says toxins are migrating along old buried stream beds that transect the Love Canal. So they are moving. The chemicals are on the move. April 1st, the state finds dioxin in a 37th Street backyard. So that's way the fuck far away from 99th Street, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
Bad news. All right, so April is just as April. Love Canal residents, they have a survey that shows, like, for, do you have this health problem? Do you have headaches all the fucking time? Is your nose bleeding? Does your kid have an extra row of teeth? Like, yes, check the ones that apply. So they have this survey, and, yeah, it shows that everyone has really high incidence of health problems, and it's no good. In May 29th, they start working on the canal in the northern part of it, the northern and central part, trying to sort of, bury the toxins, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
In July, there's a health department report issued. No information on that. That's all I have. Thank you. Goodbye. August 1st, the Homeowners Association president, Lois Gibbs. Hey, girl, hey. She's the leader. She says that at least 40 children have suffered eye, throat, and chest irritation during the remedial work. So now the stuff that they're digging up to try to, like, safely get rid of or burn or whatever it is they do is making everyone sick again, especially children.
Well, yeah, because they're kicking it all up into the air.
I know. Okay, so there was this tannery basically across the street from my house. And they tore it down a while ago, and all of the dust that was coming off of it, I was like, I just know, I can feel it. This is full of asbestos, because it was an old-ass building.
Yep.
And they had, like, one water hose trying to, because, they do that to keep all the dust down.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
You're not even close to controlling it. Also, we have gale force winds every fucking day here. So anyway, everyone in my town's gonna have mesothelioma. That's my...
I like how you can say that word correctly.
Yeah, I can't read, Shelby. I know the words. When I have to look at them and say them out loud, they don't come out.
Well, and we've all heard the mesothelioma Sue People commercial. Like, we know how to say that.
Do you or anyone you know?
Yeah.
Did you work on a ship? Fuck you.
Do you know how many, in torts, which torts...
You may be...
In my torts class, which, in case people don't know, torts is just like civil suits. It's just the law word for that. Do you know how many cases we went over that were for asbestos cases? Like, there's so many.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, there's so many. Ugh. Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
So then from August to September... the odor from the work site prompts a whole bunch of people to flee. They were like, fuck this. We're going to die. So they all run away, and Stella Niagara campus shelters 382 persons from the 131 of the remaining 550 Love Canal families. I know that was a lot of numbers.
Christ.
But...
yeah, can you go through those numbers real quick again,
Stella
but like
Niagara...
slowly?
Okay. I had to do it fast so I could say it. Stella Niagara campus shelters 382 persons from the 131 of the remaining 550 Love Canal families. So there are 550s left. Whoa. Oh my god. 550 people left. Fuck. 550 families left.
Okay.
Right? Yes. And 382 people from 131 families. So that's like 3 people per family.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm tracking.
Sorry. I know, that was a lot. Okay.
No, my brain was like, numbers, let's do math, let's malfunction.
Beep, boop, bop, can't compute.
Exactly.
So, Again, this is just remedial work. It's not like the Superfund work yet. It's just like, we'll unbury it and see what happens. Ugh. But like the ground is still poisoned and everything is poisoned. So in October of that year, the remedial work on the southern portion of Love Canal is completed. So also in October, on October 26th, Governor Carey says that he's going to buy more of the homes and evacuate more families. So 561 more families in a 10-block area are paid for. Their houses are. Yoda. I'm quoting. Paid for their houses are. My knees are sweating.
Oh my god.
My knee armpits. Okay, so there's a health department study in that November that shows dioxin in Black Creek, which is a nearby creek, in the sediment, so that's no good. Okay, in December, Mrs. Gibbs says that only 2 out of 8 children born to residents of Love Canal area in the previous year were normal, quote unquote normal. So the other 6 children had birth defects, which that fucking sucks.
Yep.
Those are not good statistics, friends.
No, it's not so good. All right. So, December 20th, the U.S. Justice Department files a $117 million lawsuit against the Hooker Chemical Corporation for cleanup costs at 4 Niagara County dump sites. So, this wasn't the only one.
Can't say I'm surprised.
Good.
So the Comprehensive Environmental Response, we are in 1980. So the Comprehensive Environmental Response Compensation and Liability Act of 1980 was passed and signed into federal law with $1.6 billion federal quote-unquote superfund for environmental cleanup is also passed. All right, so we have lots of money to pick up all this garbage. So April 28th, 1980, New York sues Hooker and 2 affiliate firms for $635 million for dumping all that junk in the canal.
Good.
May 17th. What?
I said good.
Yes, good.
Yes, good, but also...
What?
How can you sue them for something that wasn't wrong at the time?
It was. They were not supposed to do that. There were still laws that said, hey, you're not supposed to do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we still had laws against dumping chemicals into canals, but, like, they just weren't as strict.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay, sorry. I got really scared that I didn't put in the best fucking part of the story. Okay. I did though. It's all good. Whew, it was literally the next slide. Or not slide, the next bullet point. Okay. Alright. So, the EPA releases a study of chromosomal damage to some of the Love Canal residents. A lot of them react really strongly to the news, and they're like, why aren't we evacuated? Why aren't all of us gone? Why haven't you helped us out of here? So the scientists, some other scientists are like, you should not have fucking released that to the people because 1, now they're panicked, and 2, it's kind of flawed and incomplete. And then like they end up refuting the claim. So they take it all back. They're like, just kidding. You're all fine. Just don't worry about it. It's okay. Helpful. May 18th, the U.S. prepares to evacuate all 710 families. All right. So, wait. Did I lose it again? No, there it is. Okay. Panic. Okay, so the State University of Buffalo neurologist. What the fuck just happened inside my head? State University of Buffalo neurologist says that some Love Canal residents may have reversible nerve damage. So all these people are super fucking frustrated because of this report that came out. And the EPA was there looking at different things. Actually, if you go to the previous slide, that's a picture of the EPA workers just kind of fucking around in front of the high school looking at the big puddles that the kids like to play in. So anyway, the homeowners association takes 2 of them hostage.
What?
Fucking Lois and her friends were like, no. If you think that we're gonna stay here and live here, then we're gonna keep 2 of your guys here, and we're gonna see how long they want to stay here and live here. Because if you're not gonna get all of us out of this fucking city that's hot garbage, then we're gonna keep your guys here and see how long it takes for their chromosomes to fucking catch on fire. So,
I mean,
after holding these
that's
two...
one way. The coffin was one way. This is one way. We're just doing lots of things.
Sometimes you gotta take action.
Yeah.
So this is a picture of Lois Gibbs, and an EPA officer who she has hostage.
She just looks so over everything. She's just
you know
like,
what she's doing in this picture?
hate the world.
In this picture, she's telling him, call the fucking president. I dare you, call the fucking president. Mm-hmm. And so he did. They called the White House. And after 5 hours of holding them hostage, they are like, fine, everyone can come out. We'll pay for everyone to leave. 5 hours. It took her 5 hours. Which, why isn't she woman. Why isn't she doing this for world powers? Because...
Right?
She's just, this woman, this is just some mom. This is some neighborhood mom who's fucking fed up.
Okay, but have you ever dealt with the president of an HOA who is also
Seriously.
the PTO mom?
Seriously. HOA people are cuckoo.
She looks like, if looks could kill, that EPA officer would be DED dead.
His, head would be on fire right now.
Yes.
Seriously, she's looking at him with her laser eyes. Which, honestly, she might have with all of those new changes to her DNA.
You know, you're not wrong. He was probably like, this woman is, okay, Mr. President, please get me out of here.
Yes. So they called Jimmy Carter, and he was like, yeah, okay. He's Jimmy Carter. So again, this is all the... Okay, so the EPA report came out on the 17th. The preparation to evacuate everybody came out on the 18th. The 19th is when she took these guys hostage. And now on the 20th, the EPA releases the blood test again, the report, and is like, it's not alarming. Don't worry about it. However, Lois Gibbs is so fucking fired up that she gets ejected from the Niagara County legislature meeting 3 times. Could not keep my girl down. She just kept busting in. And
she was like, excuse me, I was not done talking. I have a thing to say.
Yeah, she was protesting, and a bunch of other residents were protesting because the legislators refused to join the Regional Love Canal Authority, which was supposed to help with cleanup and blah 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 and taking care of the people. But she was like, no, nah, no. Whew. Okay, so we're almost done. On the 22nd, President Carter was like, second emergency time for the Love Canal. Love Canal 2, Electric Boogaloo. I don't know. So this made it possible for them to get the federal aid to relocate the remaining 728 families in a 50 square block area around the dump. The Homeowners Association held a victory celebration. Good for them. So happy for them.
Yes.
But then the government was like, well, we can pay you for your house, but we're only going to give you these low interest loans. We're not going to buy your house outright. We're just going to kind of give you a little bit of money so you can leave. And everyone was like, fuck that. I had to buy this house.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's... No.
So the governor of New York, Governor Carey, and Lois Gibbs are fucking fed up with it. They're like, no thanks. Hi, actually, please change that. So that was June 5th. October 2nd, President Carter signs a $20 million state federal aid package for Love Canal family relocations. So this is where they bought another 550 homes. And all but 76 homeowners agreed to sell. So it cost them $24.8 million.
Well, it should have.
So again, in 1980, the Love Canal Revitalization Agency was formed, and in the early In early 1981, it turns from immediate problems into long-range planning. So they did that remedial cleanup, and now they're like, all right, so now we can focus on, like, this not happening again, and, like, trying to get the land back to normal, and not, volcanoes on the outfield.
That's a good movie title.
Volcanoes in the outfield. That's a good horror movie.
Ooh, or it would be a good band name.
Yes.
Anyway.
So I'm going to skip around. I'm going to skip around a lot now. Let's see. So on June 1st, 1981, the state health department study shows only the risk of lung cancer is at a higher risk if you live in Love Canal.
That seems
which
wrong,
I don't believe,
but okay.
Because I feel like there are other cancers that are going to kill you there too.
Yeah.
I was going to say that sounds not right, but I'm not a professional.
So in December of that year, in 81, they started like a scaled down version of the health study. So instead of like going door to door, they're like, all right, if you want to participate, we'll see if you're dead. Whatever. So now they start like planning the demolition of some of these houses, because now it's all abandoned. You can actually go to the next slide and just look at it. So this is like one of the streets surrounding it, and it's just totally abandoned in the 80s, early 80s, 81. Oh no, I lost my spot. Fuck. So they have like designated areas. So there's like Ring 1 and Ring 2, which are oh my god,
Jesus Christ.
Blocks. Sorry, certain blocks around the canal. So in January of 1982, the state is like, okay, we're going to demolish houses in Ring 1 and Ring 2 at the canal. So just like a couple of streets over. Then in June of that year, they demolished the first of 227 houses closest to the canal. A woman named Dolores Frayne, whose husband died 2 weeks earlier and who raised 7 children during her 23 years in the neighborhood, watched tearfully as her home at 99th and Frontier is leveled in 5 minutes by a bulldozer. So that fucking blows. She lived there for 23 years, didn't really get paid to leave, and her husband probably died of complications due to living there.
It's really sad.
So in 82, in July, the EPA is telling the State Department, the state of New York, that they don't know whether or not houses beyond the first 2 rings will ever be habitable again. They're like, we just don't know. Hee hee. So they're still abandoned, but it's unsure. They're unsure at this point if anyone can ever move back to the area. The state announces in July of 82 that the dioxin levels at the canal are still high, which, yeah, no shit. They're like, it hasn't changed. And also that there are like some chemicals that are 100,000 times that are present in concentrations 100,000 times that found toxic to laboratory animals. Sorry, let me reread that. The EPA soon confirms that the chemical is present in concentrations 100,000 times that found toxic. Okay, this must be a typo. Anyway, it's 100,000 times more toxic than it is to like lab rats and shit. So it's very bad for people also.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it's still in the canal. Which again is probably filled with water because it rains and snows there all the time. Okay, let's see. So a second project is started in December of 82, and this is going to cost $400 million. $4 million. They're like, we should close the school. No shit! Okay. Children born near there tend to be smaller and tend to develop more slowly than their peers who were born outside of the Love Canal region, and they also have more health problems overall. That was from a study done in 83. Let's see. 99th Street School is demolished June 8th in 83. Let's see. In December of 84, another clay cap is put over the canal. So
what is with them and clay?
I don't know. Does it have... it's not like a superpower.
Right?
Like the people who died in Chernobyl
dirt.
are buried in concrete. You know
Well,
what I mean?
yeah, like you
I don't
have to.
understand.
Okay. Anyway, moving on.
So in 86 they start cleaning contaminated sewer systems, which are contaminated all the way across the city of Niagara Falls. So like even people on the other side of the city have levels of dioxin and shit in their sewers because
That stuff
chemicals
travels.
don't stop at the fucking border.
Right.
Lois Gibbs, who at this point in 1986 lives in Washington, D.C., her home is demolished in an unexpected round of Saturday morning bulldozing on 101st Street. So, surprise, your house is gone. But I guess it doesn't matter because you weren't going to go back anyway. So in 87, New York State approves a $1.2 billion Environmental Quality Bond Act, and a $9 billion federal superfund is designated for environmental cleanup for a 5-year period. Let's see. So in 88, the U.S. Attorney says that $200 million has been spent on the Love Canal cleanup, which is likely to cost $50 million more.
That's a lot of money.
In 88, in February of 88, Judge John Curtin finds Occidental, which is another chemical company. I think it's like the parent company of Hooker. I'm pretty sure it's the parent company of Hooker, liable for the Love Canal incident. So they get in trouble.
Good.
Good, yeah.
So at this point,
It's almost like if you didn't dump toxic chemicals into the ground, like maybe we wouldn't have to spend millions of dollars to clean it up.
children wouldn't have low birth weight or be born with an extra fucking set of teeth or genetic defects.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy how that works.
So, let's see. 900 former residents received awards ranging from $63 to $133,000 in personal injury damages. I want to know who got $63. Unless it was... No, it's $63 is what it says. That's kind of shitty.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, unless it was someone who lived like on the very edge of town or something, but like still.
Someone threw an exploding rock at me.
Right.
Okay, you get $63. Here you go. Get a Band-Aid. I don't know. Okay, let me read this really quick. Quote, the lack of public interest in Love Canal made matters worse for the Homeowners Association, which was opposed by two organizations that sought to disprove negligence. Initially, members of the association had been frustrated by the lack of a public entity that could advise and defund them. Gibbs met with public residents... God damn it, I was doing so good. Gibbs met with public resistance from a number of residents within the community. Eventually, the federal government relocated more than 800 families and reimbursed them for the loss of their homes. The state government and federal government used $15 million to purchase 400 homes closest to the Love Canal and demolished several rings of houses. Okay, go to the last slide. Finally, Love Canal is now a grassy field quarantined by a chain link fence. This is from the Timeline article. Hundreds of families evacuated, but 60 families remain behind. Cleanup costs have been estimated at $250 million. A federal judge eventually found Hooker Chemical negligent but not reckless, and parent company Occidental Petroleum settled with the EPA for $129 million. An EPA regional administrator called Love Canal, quote, one of the most appalling environmental tragedies in American history. The core area around the dump is still off limits, but new buildings have been built nearby. The neighborhood is now called Black Creek Village. The end. That's kind of a shitty, dark name to name that, you know?
Yeah.
Black Creek Village. I guess that was what the creek was called before, but at the same time.
Yeah.
Guys, really? So anyway, that is the Love Canal disaster. It started the Superfund, initiative, which is so shitty that we have to have that. And please recycle and don't fucking bury chemicals under a school. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's all I got, guys.
Well, that was interesting.
It's really interesting, but there's no time to be funny because it's not fucking funny.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, it's interesting, but now I'm just like angry
Bummed out
at humans being stupid.
Yeah.
So dumb. And they like knew it was a bad idea.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, you guys throwing shit in this dump? Yeah. Okay.
And then we're gonna build a school on top of it.
So, I'm sorry if you said this. Did the people from, like, the school get in trouble for building the school there?
I don't think so.
Okay, because I feel like they should have been held liable as well, because they knew what was in the ground whenever they bought the land. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't see anything about it.
Okay, just wondering.
To be fair.
Or, like, the town or anything?
I didn't look that hard. It would be the Niagara School District.
Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, they're the ones who bought the land. Like, they knew what was there.
Yeah, because they had all that dispute over,
Yeah.
like, buying it and all of that, which is why they got it for $1, so.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know. Law school brain is like, who all can we sue?
Right. Real quick, while Hannah's thinking, at some point when she was doing her timeline, Yuki decided to use my stomach as a springboard to jump over my laptop.
Mm-hmm.
So
Cool.
I made a really, I thought I made a really loud, like, oof noise. So that's what that is. So,
That's okay.
yeah.
By the way, for YouTube specifically, we have one of these super fun sites near us in St. Louis County.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's called Times Beach, Missouri. It's in St. Louis County. It's 17 miles southwest of St. Louis and 2 miles east of Eureka. And it's a ghost town.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
But why the fuck is it called Times Beach? Is it on the water or is it just annoying like that?
I don't
Who
know.
knows anymore?
There's
I
a
don't
place. I would just like to say for people who are not from Missouri or the Midwest, it's an old quarry that we all swim in, and it's called, what is it called? Oh, it's something to do with pirates, but it's like Rascal Beach or something stupid like that.
I have no idea what you're
but
talking
they
about, but I'm
dyed
not
it.
from here.
They dyed it Tidy Bowl toilet water blue.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's on the way to Springfield. What's it called?
Because it's not uncommon for them to turn old quarries like into swimming
holes.
Yeah.
Like that's a pretty common thing.
Mm-hmm. This one is just so hick and gross and stupid, and like they're always blasting country music and everyone's drinking tequila, and it's like you're in the middle of fucking Missouri.
Yeah. That sounds like Missouri, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Agent Orange is what's near Verona, Missouri. Oh, wait, no, that's different. Oh, that's where they made it, was in Verona.
Oh.
They shipped it on over to bury it in St. Louis. Why would you just leave it out there in Verona? There's fucking nothing in Verona. That's where the drive-in is if you want to go to the drive-in.
So it's Agent Orange that's buried near us?
Yes.
Cool.
Do you hear what I said, though?
Yes, I heard. I'm ignoring it.
Sorry.
We were just gonna move on past and not even acknowledge it, but
Here we are.
If you want to go to the drive-in.
And on that
you're out in
note,
Springfield.
Yep. Well,
Anywho,
anything else?
I'm trying to because I know with the personal injury thing how that one person only got like $63. Like, I'm trying to find a thing that explains why they only got $63.
Listen, that's what the article said. I can pull it back up.
So, no, I believe you. I'm not saying that you're wrong. So the things that go into deciding a settlement are things such as medical expenses, damage, lost earnings, lost income, and then there can sometimes be damages for like pain and suffering, right? So I'm just interested into how they figured out that it's only $63.
Maybe it was some worker who like
they were there for like a day.
A Band-Aid.
Yeah. No, because it would still have to be. It would have to be related to either to the cleanup or to the. Actually, no. It would be. I'm assuming it would have to be related to the damage caused by them dumping the chemicals and everything, right? I mean, if you just happen to be on the site and you fall and hurt yourself, that isn't related to the chemical dumping, so you're not going to get a
you're right. That's like
settlement for that. Maisie, yeah. So it's just weird because usually, especially since it was such a large settlement.
I'm gonna go with it was a kid with a fire rock. Threw it at
maybe
like a nerd, and the nerd was like, I am hurt.
Yeah.
Speaking as a nerd.
Oh, excuse me, sorry. Yeah, just
shit we would pull.
Legal settlements are weird. That's all I got.
All right, well, we don't have an ending, so
nope.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to The Triad. Our music is by Scott Buckley. Our audio is recorded by our sound engineers, Craig Bott and Audrey Credo.
If you like the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, YouTube, and Tumblr as The Triad Podcast.
We're also on Patreon as The Triad. Currently, all Patreon funds will go towards the cost of hosting the show. Each tier has its own rewards, but every patron receives our undying gratitude. Do you have comments, questions, or stories? Email us at thetriadpod@gmail.com. And thank you again for listening to The Triad, where we're spooky but sensitive.